Breaking news, absolute travesties going on in Iran. I covered yesterday that there were 12,000 deaths. The death count went up to 20,000. We still don't know if this is a low estimate because the reality is they shut off the internet. Elon Musk has his people fighting with the jammers of the Ayatollah in Iran in order to get Starlink internet back up. There were massacres, people with machine guns walking into public squares and just mowing people down. It's an absolute nightmare there. Literally, more than a third of the deaths of the Gaza war happened in one day in Iran. And the difference is the Gaza war was started by, Hamas. And this was literally just people trying to get their country back from oppressors, and they're getting murdered. So today we're going to be talking about Hasan Piker, largely, and the other idiots that are out here running defense for the regime, because we are not gonna let them be forgotten. All right, yesterday I did an entire deep dive on what's going on in Iran. Today we are doing a deep dive on the idiots. There are public executions scheduled for today. I know they're scheduling public hangings, for the record, public hangings in Iran. They're scheduling them for protesters. All right, so first I have to get you up to date with what's going on. Then we have to talk about Hasan Piker, who's shocking his dog, and he had an old account of his leaked where he was a furry. There's honestly a bit of a wild video for today, but it's super important that every single person that's running defense for the Islamic regime is remembered, and that's what this video is about, which is why I ask you to please subscribe and share it, because this video is not going to be monetized because I'm talking about massacres of 20,000 people. So you're not going to be ready for the leftists running defense for the Islamic terrorists. It's actually unbelievable how they keep doing this. So the Time says death toll in Iran might be in the thousands. It's updated to be around 20,000 right now. 15 minutes after Israel recognized Somaliland as a country, the United Nations held an emergency session denouncing both countries. All right. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with this lore, about 2 weeks ago, Somalia was massacring people in Somaliland. Okay. So Israel decided, you know what? Screw it. We're going to recognize Somaliland as a sovereign nation. Somaliland is a nation that has like regular elections and democracy, and Somalia is an inbred shithole of people having sex with their cousins and producing the dumbest fucking people on the planet. So Israel decided to recognize Somaliland as a sovereign state, which is ultimately like a pretty little thing to do, I guess. And the UN gets together talking about how absolutely horrible it is. For weeks, the Iranian government is murdering thousands in the streets, and the UN is silent. The UN stands for useless. True. We have to abolish the UN. Israel is definitely going to leave at this point. There's no way they're going to stay part of the UN after all this. And the reality is, America is also probably going to leave the UN, because the UN just exists to cuck America. All right? It's literally just existing to cuck America right now. It is completely controlled by Islamists, as it's been super obvious that I said the whole time. I was called Islamophobic for saying it, but over 25% of the UN is Islamic countries, and the other 25% of the UN is European countries that are currently in mid-Islamic takeover. So the UN is absolutely pro-Islam in every way, which is why they don't care that the Islamic regime is massacring people by the tens of thousands in the streets of Iran. All right? We pulled out of the UN. It's not fully official. We're only looking into it. So we are going to probably leave the UN. It's going to happen because the UN is just like, no, Trump, you're not allowed to arrest Venezuela. Right, the UN did the Venezuelan dictator Maduro. That's the last time the UN criticized us, when we stopped a dictator, communist. All right, now, if you want more hilarity, Iran is actually on the Human Rights Council of the UN, which we're going to be looking at in a second. But, so this is what Trump said yesterday.
Truck business went through the roof.
You said to Iran this morning that help is on the way for protesters. What did you mean by that? What kind of help?
You're going to have to figure that one out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, baby.
Nobody's been able to give me an accurate number. I have heard numbers from everything's a lot. One is a lot. But I've heard numbers much lower, and I've heard numbers much higher. We'll be knowing. We're probably going to find out over the next 24 hours. I think it's a lot. It's too many, whatever. Truck business went through.
So anyway, they tried to hit him with their classic bullshit of like, what are you planning on doing, Mr. President? Absolutely unbelievable. 20K dead in a single day. Last time was Nagasaki, Hiroshima. Yeah, no, it's an absolute, it's an atrocity. It's an atrocity the likes of which we haven't seen in our lifetimes. Okay? Unbelievable. 20,000 dead in a day? Like, it's absolutely abominable that the world is just silent about it because they're just so radically pro-Islam. They don't want to piss off the mouth that feeds them. Like, oh, but Qatar said we shouldn't do anything. We'll get into that. So anyway, so this is a reporter talking to Trump about Iran. This is also yesterday.
That it will
will retaliate in the instance of U.S. strikes.
All right, Iran says they will retaliate if the U.S. strikes, and Trump's response is very Trumpish.
U.S. assets in the Middle East. What do you say to U.S. service members about why it is worth the risk to intervene in Iran?
Yeah, Iran said that the last time I blew them up with the nuclear capability, which they don't have any longer. So Iran said that the last time. They better behave.
Oh, yep, they threatened me last time. It didn't work. It didn't work out very well for them last time. Oh my God, Mr. President, stop tingling my balls like this. So anyway, he doesn't stop. He did 3 speeches yesterday, and every single one of them he threatened Iran. Now, I know Trump, all right, a little better than most because I'm retarded, just like Trump. And therefore, I could say with certainty, Trump is planning something big, but Trump wants it to be done in 40 minutes. He wants a 40-minute mission, in and out, take out as many of the bad guys as he possibly can in 1 second, not put a single soldier on the ground. That's what Trump wants to do. He does not like the prolonged ground conflicts. What he wants is similar to Venezuela, in and out, cripple the entire regime, and that's what he wants. And my guess is he's being cautious and taking his time, and hopefully he does it soon.
And by the way, to all Iranian patriots, keep protesting.
Oh, shit.
Take over your institutions and save the name of the killers and the abusers that are abusing you. You're being very badly abused. If the numbers are right, now I hear 5 different sets of numbers. I hear numbers. Look, 1 death is too much.
Because they shut off the internet in Iran. They literally shut off the internet. So obviously, all the sources are completely jumbled.
But I hear much lower numbers, and then I hear much higher numbers. But I say save their names because they'll pay a very big price.
Oh, shit.
And I've canceled all meetings with the Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops.
Yep, he's like, no more negotiating, take their names, we are going to Nuremberg trial these Nazis. Because this is the closest we've had to a Nazi regime since the Nazis. I know that everyone likes, memeing around with different terminologies, but essentially this is a radical, autocratic, fascist regime dictated by a cancerous ideology that exists purely from a supremacy perspective to destroy all people that are not from their faith. And not only their faith in general, specifically Shia Islam. They would kill any Sunni Muslim that they possibly can, which they have done already multiple times. But that is literally what we're looking at.
All I say to them is help is on its way. You saw that I put tariffs on anybody doing business with Iran. Just went into effect today. And I say make Iran great again. It was a great country until these monsters came in and took it over.
Great country until the monsters came. Many such cases. Anyway, so that's been Trump. He's been pretty upfront with his messaging. We're gonna fuck these guys. Emmanuel Macron, in between getting slapped by his husband, he decided to post one of the greatest French person tweets of all time. This is translated from Persian. He posted it in Persian. I condemn the state violence that blindly targets Iranian women and men who courageously demanding respect for their rights. Respect for the fundamental freedoms is a global demand, and we stand alongside the women and men who defend it. Gay-ass motherfucker decides to hit you with the virtue signal tweet of the generation. What is this? Literally, what am I even looking at right now? All right, that was my pussy accent. I don't know if you were aware. That was not actually my French accent. I have a really good French accent. That was my pussy accent. Don't want you to get those mixed up. So the reality is, this is the worst tweet ever. And they all do this. All the libtards are like this. We stand with you. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to get involved. We're not going to help you. But we're going to stand with you. We'll eat a baguette in your honor, Iranians. Like, this is like actually the gayest virtue signal shit of all time. Like 5 million views, 25,000 likes. Like, this dude was ready to start sanctioning Israel when they were fighting with Palestine, okay? And then he hits you with actual pussy language. It's incredible. Unbelievable. So the one Democrat that's actually being like, yo, what the fuck? Where are my leftists? I don't understand. Where are my lefties? These guys were protesting and yelling and screaming about, I don't know, Palestine, the guys that started a war and lost for years. The reality is the reason why they were actually protesting for Palestine was not because they ever cared about the Palestinians. It was because the Islamic retards that were funding all of the colleges like Qatar, who funds our American colleges $6.5 billion a year, was literally getting them to think that this is an important cause so they can use the Palestine cause as a Trojan horse to destroy Western civilization. But he was like, why are all the lefties doing this? But the lefties are quiet now. Great question, sir. Sorry for the voice crack. I'm sick.
The president saying he's now considering taking military action inside Iran. Do you want the U.S. to get involved like that?
Sure, absolutely. And now it continues to make more sense. Absolutely. I think I was the only Democrat that...
You mean we should assist these people that are getting massacred by the tens of thousands, also simultaneously crippling a regime that is funding terrorism, that is killing Americans and other allies of ours around the world for years? Yeah!
Supported our strike of their Iranian nuclear facilities last year. And now, by then, without those kinds of strikes, Iran could have acquired a nuclear bomb. I think,
like, wow.
I hope we can all agree that
That's
Iran
fucked up.
should have never acquired a nuclear bomb. And Iran is one of the world's top terrorist on writer.
He's like, what do you mean?
Have that
of course we should bomb the shit out of them.
Spiral. So why wouldn't we want to support that? And those...
Literally the only smart Democrat is the one that had a brain tumor. Like, you cannot even, like, make this up.
Those brave protesters. They've killed probably more than 600 by now.
Yeah, this was from 2 days ago.
So now, why would we want to have the kinds of targeted kinds of action that could break that regime?
He's just like, literally, are you retarded, lady? Why are you asking this question? Of course we should do it. But Trump, though! But Trump! What do you mean? What do you mean? So yeah, obviously this does not look very good for the retards. Now, speaking of the retards, before we talk about Hasan Piker and his uncle and all these other fucking frauds, I have to show you something insane. All right? I have to show you something crazy. So these are Iranians. As an Iranian, I am carving these days into my memory to the Jewish community and the Republicans who stand with us, we see you. But to the actors, the left, the communists, the Democrats, the human rights hypocrites who chose silence or worse, covered for the Islamic regime while they slaughtered 12,000 plus of my people. You helped this regime survive. As long as I have breath in my lungs, I will rub this filth in your faces. Your hypocrisy is written in our blood. I actually had chills reading that. By the way, for the record, I actually had chills reading that. Literally. Unironically. Actual chills. Like, these poor guys, they expected the activists to be on their side. The activists, the guys that are literally shitting on Western nations for literally everything. For everything. And they can't understand why the activists aren't there on their side. I do, obviously, because the activists' actual goal is not any of the things that they care about. All right, they don't care about the environment. They don't care about the climate. They don't care about any of that shit. They hate, straight up, they hate Western civilization. They hate the biblical values that founded our civilization. They hate patriarchal society. They hate, a society that's based on actual values, and that is straight up why they fight against every single thing. Your hypocrisy is written in our blood. It's actually unreal how much of a mask-off moment this was. So this is another Iranian. After screaming this for years, I can't believe it's taken 12,000 Iranians murdered by the IRGC to the world's deafening silence for people to finally see that the human rights movement and its social justice warriors are a gigantic, spectacular farce. I feel so fucking sick. It's honestly heartbreaking for these guys. Like, they expected at least the retards on the college campuses will be on our side. Oh my god. Holy shit. Actually scary. Hey, UN, what time could we expect you to remove Iran from your Human Rights Committee? Obviously they won't. Duh. Obviously they won't, because they're literally an Islamic organization that's involved in the conquering of Western nations. It's so obvious. So this is a message to Trump from a young conscript soldier of the Iranian army. Not the IRGC. This is like from the rebellion, all right? Giving a message to Trump. Now, I'm going to show you this clip. And the reason why I'm doing this is simple. It's because later in this video, when I show you what all the retards on the left in America are saying, like Hasan, like Cenk, his uncle, like Candace Owens, another leftist, like what all these guys are saying, they're all saying that the people in Iran don't actually want Trump's help. That is that's their new phrase. Their new thing is they actually hate Trump more than the mullahs that are massacring their people.
جناب رئیس جمهور آمریکا، آقای ترامپ،
Mr. President,
ما ارتشی‌ها و تمام مردم ایران منتظریم که ما رو نجات بدید.
we the military, I'm just saying this in case someone's just listening to this, not watching this, my video. We the military and all Iranian people are waiting for you to save us.
این رژیم ظالم رها کنید تا بتونیم ایران رو از نو بسازیم و همونطور
And free us from this oppressive regime so we could rebuild Iran new.
به آمریکا میگی ما هم می‌خواهیم که to make Iran great again.
Make Iran great again. And then he kissed a picture of Donald Trump. Anyway, so it's very obvious that people are doing this. It's crazy. It's crazy and it's tragic that this is happening. The footage, this is open source intel. This is like a war account that constantly posts pictures of, conflicts around the world. The footage leaking out of Iran right now is too much for me to post. I want to puke. So I saw some of the footage. Obviously, I can't show it in a YouTube video, but it really is horrible. Like it's getting spread through Telegram accounts because like the actual footage is getting taken down on pieces of social media. You just see people getting blasted in the streets. You literally see people with machine guns walking into crowds and just firing at chest height and just people falling down. It's absolutely unbelievable that it's happening in real life. So I'm going to show you a very Islamophobic picture right now. So under communism, there were 62 million deaths. Under socialism, Nazi socialism, there were 21 million deaths. Under communism, there were 49 million deaths. And under Islamism, there were over 300 million deaths. Now, this is obviously Islamophobic, which is why we're not going to be including it in the video. But anywho, this is another Iranian man who finally was able to escape Iran. He crossed the border into Turkey. That way he has internet because Iran had no internet because the government there shut it down. And he released this video.
الان رسیدم ترکیه بازا بده اصلا همه رو داره همه رو داره بچه‌ها رو همه رو داره فقط کمک همه شاهزادن خارش بده که غیر شاهزاده سمبل آزیه اصلا کاری به اسم شاهزاده بکنه ناجیه.
Anyway, and he's crying, he's begging for someone to help them. Like, I don't think people realize how mismatched this is. Like, you have a bunch of protesters completely unarmed in the streets, and then you have actual terrorist military coming in and mowing people down. Unbelievable. So this is another example of people begging for foreign help. All right, I'm just showing you people begging for foreign help because now I have to show you the retards that are showing you that they're not actually begging for foreign help. So here's the first Hasan clip of the day. Because, yes, I am going to expose that he had a previous account where he was a giant furry. And I am going to show you the new account of him shocking his dog yesterday. Because we need to talk about how evil this shitbag is. All right, so this is Hasan Piker talking about the Iranian situation.
The reality of the matter is, in the absence of like, if this government falls, it's fucking Syria. That's the reason why.
The Iranian people are not Muslims by nature. They're not Muslims. They're not even Arabs. They literally just, they want a democracy. That's what they're begging for. They're begging for a democracy. It's not Syria. It's not anything like Syria. Syria was an Islamic Arab nation that, yeah, sure, it had different terrorist groups conquering it left and right, but Iran was not that. Iran was under oppression for 47 years. So immediately, I think personally he knows better. He's just lying to his audience. He's doing everything in his power to support the Islamic terrorist regime that's massacring people. I just want to make this very clear.
People who take somewhat of a campus stance here are making that statement, okay? That's it. America is obviously still far worse than the Iranian government, even in terms.
America is worse than the Iranian government. He's referring to the Islamic dictatorship. He's not referring to the actual elected Iranian government. Absolute insanity that we have this guy in our country. All right? Absolute insanity that this dude has a place in our country, that has a voice in our politics, that's glazed by our left-wing media outlets. It is unbelievable that this guy is not either in jail or deported. He thinks that the American government is worse than the Islamic terrorist regime that's massacring tens of thousands of people. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Like, he spends all his time calling people on the right Nazis. This dude's the Nazi. He's the actual Nazi here. All right? He's the guy that supports every single terrorist organization you could think of. From Mexican cartels to Venezuelan cartels. He supports the communist China. All right? He'll support every radical terrorist Islamic organization. It's unbelievable.
Like the dire economic situation that Iranians are facing is also a direct consequence of American intervention.
Oh, so that explains why the Iranians spent $500 million on Hezbollah and $100 million on Hamas and another $100 million on the Houthis? That's America's fault?
So every Iranian that is in a state of disarray due to the real dropping in value to zero.
He really thinks that this whole revolution is happening because of the currency. Now, don't get me wrong. The currency absolutely had an impact here. It's kicked off the whole thing because they didn't have water. I don't think you realize how bad it was in Iran. They couldn't afford water, all right? Literally, they could not afford water in Iran. And he's like, yep, American imperialism's fault. Now, let me give you an example. Israel directly stated, if we make peace, we will irrigate your entire land with our superior irrigation technology that we have invented. All right? I'm not even exaggerating. All right? They literally said, we will irrigate your entire country. And they were like, no, fuck you. We're going to kill you, actually.
Or due to not having any sort of fucking, like, due to people not having any sort of commerce in the country. That's all America.
What do you mean no commerce? They fund Russia. They fund China.
It's all American intervention. So they are still worse than even the fucking most repressive, most authoritarian version of the Ayatollahs.
Yeah, America's worse than the Ayatollahs, he says. Unbelievable, bro. Like, and you don't think this dude directly wants to overthrow our government? You don't think that this guy actually just wants to overthrow American democracy? Like, he really is a plant. He really is a foreign agent. And there's no other way to say it. He hates our country so much, it's unbelievable.
Always either the Jews or America's fault.
The Jews or America.
I can't tell if you're being sincere when you say this or if you're saying this sarcastically.
What is happening?
But yes, in the case of
Yes.
it is not the Jews, okay?
Not the Jews, it's the Zionists. I'm politically correct here.
But yes, Israel has played a fucking major role. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because Iran declared war on them. Oh my God, it's unbelievable that we need to deal with this dumbass. Iran declared war on Israel, okay? Through their proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis all bombed Israel many, many times for decades. Iran fired bombs and missiles at Israel, okay? So yes, Israel ruined their economy because they declared war on Israel and lost miserably. How could you possibly blame America or Israel for these guys losing a war that they started and then proceeded to massacre their own people? Unbelievable. Ayatollah regime massacres 20,000 people. The Jews in America are at fault.
Dumbass.
Anyway, so that's what we're dealing with. That is literally what we're dealing with. Hasan Piker. I think it's even worse though. Right? This is your bleeding heart leftist. This guy cares so much about Renee Good. This person cares so much about the lesbian retard that crashed her car into an ICE agent that was killed in self-defense. Oh my God. We have literally the government executing people in our streets in self-defense. America's so bad. Anyway, Iran's just walking out and massacring people by the tens of thousands. All right, but don't worry. Hasan gets worse. You thought that was bad? Well, now this is Hasan saying that actually the people that claim they care about Iran, they don't actually care about Iran.
It's so crazy. And it's funny because, like, as I showed you with the asmongold situation, the motherfucker's not even America first. He's like, oh, let's free the people of Iran. It's like, bitch, you advocated to kill Americans.
No one ever advocated to kill Americans. This is what we call slander. He will lie and he will manipulate. He will practice taqiyya of all sorts. He's really in tune with his radical Islamic roots, it seems.
You advocated for this regime to kill American protesters.
No,
Fuck
he didn't.
You.
Only in self-defense, as opposed to what's happening in Iran, which is literally terrorist death squads roaming the streets and mowing people down.
Me.
And this guy claims he cares for social justice. Like, the Hasan argument's incredible, because his whole argument is, I can't believe you're against domestic terrorists, but you're also against foreign terrorists. That's the Hasan argument.
Like, what are you talking about? What the fuck do you mean? Free Iran, bitch, free America from Donald Trump. And
free America from the person that they literally voted for? Dog, we elected Trump with a majority. He won the election in a democracy. You guys, you leftist swine, domestic terrorists like you all fucking are, all right, you retards, you guys have been doing your absolute best to fight against the mandate of the American people, which was to deport illegal aliens, all right? That was why he became our chosen Democratic leader. He won the constitutional vote, the popular vote, and you don't care about democracy. Because if you cared about democracy, you would be more than happy to support Trump deporting every single illegal alien in this country. But you are literally fighting back against him for doing that, all right? What do you mean, this regime? Y'all should be home. That lady that was killed by the ICE agent in self-defense, she should have been home. She should have been taking care of her kids instead of putting cigarettes out on them. All right? Get out of here.
Free
America, free America. While America's the most free country in the world, and then you have Iran. But free America.
America from you.
Free America from you. I hope you die.
Fuck. Anyway. It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy. It's madness.
Yeah, I agree.
It blows my mind that people don't even like question this when they don't go, wait a minute.
Why aren't people questioning why Asmongold doesn't support domestic terrorists and doesn't support foreign terrorists?
I'm not so sure if you actually care about the Iranian people or not.
Yeah, right. So again, Hasan Piker, the guy who supports Hamas, the terrorist organization that started the Gaza war, which caused the deaths of 50,000 civilians in Gaza, probably, estimate. You supported those guys, all right? I don't believe you cared about Palestinians at all, actually. I think you were using Palestine as a cudgel to attack America. I don't think you give a shit about the Palestinians, even though you were screaming and crying about it every single day. All right, that's why you're hoisting up this pretendicide that happened there.
For the last couple of weeks, you've been talking about how the American regime should kill American protesters.
No one actually did that.
Interesting.
Interesting. How I completely just manipulate the discourse to sound like something completely different than it actually is. This guy's incredible. This guy's actually incredible. Wow. Interesting. You support mass gas chambers for leftists, but you don't support... It's like, what are you talking about, bro? No one's saying this yet. Anyway, so this next clip, I wanted to show you with Ethan Klein's little caption saying 2,000 to 5,000 dead protesters. Anyone else find poetry? This is Hasan Piker saying that it is poetic the way the Ayatollah in Iran is mowing down protesters.
It's so stupid. Like, you like Khamenei tweet when he's responsible for killing so many people? Listen, sometimes...
He's liking Khamenei's tweets as he is doing a genocide.
Sometimes you can find poetry in the strangest places. Yeah.
He's finding poetry in the mass execution of Iranian protesters. He finds poetry in tens of thousands of people murdered, their bodies sprawling across the streets, when he has been preaching all of his bullshit propaganda, his Islamist propaganda garbage forever.
Persian. I am Persian. I am Persian. I am not Iranian.
Yeah, so that's Hasan. I'm really glad we did this. This is the left, I guess, in a nutshell. But I'm really glad that we're doing this video. Definitely share this video around, by the way, because people need to see it. And I have a feeling this video will not be around for very long for reasons and because of some of the people I'm going to be calling out. But it is super important. And it's like, we're not going to cancel Hasan Piker. We're too busy canceling right-wing people for supporting law enforcement. How dare you support law enforcement in America when you should be supporting the terrorist regime of Iran? Yeah, no, actually incredible that this dude's doing that. So before we keep going, I'm going to show you more Hasan clips later. I've laid out this video and structured it in a way that I think will make it the most entertaining possible. Because ultimately that's what I am. I'm an entertainer. An entertainer that will be very entertained when Hasan Piker goes to jail. And then hell, probably in that order. Anyway, person who runs our largest teaching union calls for the murder of Jews. Wow. This is happening while there's a massacre of people in Iran.
Let's do it for Palestine, Ramallah, West Bank, Gaza.
Yeah, none of these people care about any of that.
It's about time we globalize the Intifada.
Let's do it for Palestine by stabbing lots of Jews. That's right. Palestine will be free as long as we keep killing Jews. A classic. Teachers union, ladies and gentlemen. He had nothing to say about Iran. They have nothing, no commentary on Iran. Nothing to say about any of that. None of that matters to the leftists mob, the leftist protesters. None of these people give a single shit about the tens of thousands of people getting massacred. Literally, none of them care. And the answer is simple. It's because they're literally aligned with the radical Islamic regime. It's literally that simple. It's literally that simple that Islam is conquering our institutions. And I always knew it was bad because I saw the funding. Qatar funding $6.5 billion to our institutions. The United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia funding our shit. So the crazy thing is, this is the British Caliphate all over again. Yeah, exactly. So now the wildest part is, the reason why I'm bringing this up is very simple. It's because it just goes to show that they're literally conquered. Like, we are more conquered than I ever thought. Like, I knew it was happening. I knew it was already happening in Europe, but damn. So anyway, breaking news, Qatar is lobbying President Trump against striking Iran. Risks to oil markets. What the fuck? The U.S. economy and potential domestic backlash. So Qatar, all right, the people that house Hamas leaders, by the way, Qatar, the guys that fund our colleges and protests in America, Qatar is lobbying President Trump saying, yo, don't bomb the guys that are massacring tens of thousands. They might criticize you for it. What the fuck does that mean? Actually, it would be bad for the oil markets for Russia and China. Okay. What? First of all, this guy is a trillionaire, all right? For the record, in case you were unaware, this is a trillionaire. Tucker Carlson was freaking out. Oh, dude, I want to show you the envoy of Qatar. All right, so the envoy of Qatar made it to the White House, actually. I'm going to show you a picture of the envoy of Qatar in the White House talking to Trump. There he is. He's right there. He's right there. We know. We saw the lobbying happening in real... There he is. So this is the envoy of Qatar. You probably can't see him very clearly because it's a little bit blurry. But this is the Qatar envoy currently doing his absolute best to convince President Trump not to get involved. All right, he wants President Trump not to get involved because of oil or something. Now, this is by the way, the very anti-war guy, clearly very anti-war, even though this is him applauding Trump on his capture of Maduro. Interesting. Trump meets with oil execs at White House, including very interesting character. I don't know what to make of this chat. What do you think, guys? You let me know what you think, and I'll take it under advisement or something. Anyway, what if I told you it gets even wilder? China reportedly rejected helping Iran with economic and military assistance due to fear of sanctions on the banks by the U.S. and Europe. China's our bitch. In case you're unaware, China is in fact our bitch. We own China. We are obliterating China. We cooked China's oil reserves in Venezuela. We're cooking China's oil reserves in Iran, and China is now our bitch. It's honestly pretty amazing how Trump managed to flip the entire economy on its head. Now, for those of you that are wondering why I'm making fun of Tucker Carlson right now, it's because I have some people in my chat asking me. It's because when they shut off the internet in Iran, all right, it's pretty awesome. When they shut off the internet in Iran, they played Tucker Carlson podcasts on Islamic State media. Is that incredible? That's awesome. They shut down the internet. There was no internet, no phone calls, no communication with the outside world, but they are playing Tucker Carlson podcasts on loop. If this is not the most incredible thing I've ever seen, I don't know what is. It probably has something to do with the fact that Tucker Carlson has interviewed the president of Iran multiple times. So it probably has something to do with it, although I'm not willing to say anything. Yeah, that's pretty weird. So anyway, China reportedly rejected helping Iran, and the memes are obviously incredible. I have to say, the memes are fucking awesome. Glorious multipolar world. That's right. That's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. China owned by the Jews. The Jews have conquered China at long last. We're working hard. We're trying. So anyway, Marco Rubio made a bit of a crazy update today. Today we are designating the Lebanese, Egyptian, and Jordanian chapters of the Muslim Brotherhood as terrorist groups under President Trump's leadership. The United States will eliminate the capabilities and operations of the Muslim Brotherhood. So, for those of you that are unaware, the Muslim Brotherhood has a 100-year plan. A 100-year plan that started about 40 years ago, where their goal was conquering the West. And this is how you do it. You simply make believe you're the biggest victim of all time. You import infinite of your retards into Western countries. They outbreed you, and then they take over. That's basically the plan. So, and that involves some crazy shit, too. So, Marco Rubio designated them as a terrorist organization, which is pretty crazy. Elon Musk responds with fire. At the risk of asking a silly question, what about the other chapters? Good question, Elon. Good question. So anyway, I'm waiting for them to designate the UK chapter as a terrorist organization. So anyway, I have to show you what the leftists are saying. Now, I gave you all the context. You needed this context in order to properly understand the leftist retards. So this is Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, everyone's favorite leftist. This dude, he's a civil rights icon. He's fighting for Black Lives Matter. He's fighting for all this shit. All right, that's my guy. That's my dude. He's fighting for all the rights of people everywhere. For Palestinians, whatever. Anyway, let's see what Bernie Sanders had to say. Iran is in turmoil. Millions of people are rising up against their autocratic government. Not surprisingly, the regime is responding by brutally killing thousands of protesters. According to some estimates, the Iranian people have the right to determine their own future, and the United States should support their legitimate aspirations for freedom and democracy. But we will not do so at the barrel of a gun. What the fuck are you talking about? So this first paragraph is directly saying, we support you with tweets, but we're not actually going to do anything to, actually help you. I think that's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. It's like, we will stand by you, we will make tweets, we will be angry all over Twitter. We will be angry on Twitter, and we will support you and all of your actions on Twitter. But we should not actually do literally anything to help. Let us not forget that the current abhorrent regime in Iran is itself the product of a Western-backed intervention. In 1953, a British and American orchestrated coup overthrew the democratically elected government of Mohammed in Iran. This was done to promote Western oil interests. The coup installed Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi at the head of a corrupt, brutal, and unpopular autocratic regime. After several decades of this dictatorship, the Shah himself was overthrown by the Islamic Revolution in 1979, which brought power of Ruhollah Khomeini and the theocracy that rules the country to this day. Okay, thanks for the history lesson, old man. They're murdering tens of thousands of people in the streets. Now, with incredible courage, the people of Iran are once again demanding democracy, freedom, and economic justice. That's a good thing that they're demanding. Wow, they're demanding it, guys. They're getting massacred in the streets, but they're demanding. That's nice. The United States must support the Iranian people. How are we going to do that? By tweeting? We must join the Iranian people in demanding the immediate end of government violence against protesters. Oh, we should demand. Let me get this. We should demand the terrorists stop doing terrorism. All right. An immediate end to the media and blackout and censorship currently in place. We should demand to let us see the massacre of the Iranian people. Okay, good. All right, cool. Internationally supervised free elections so that the people of Iran can determine their own future. We should just demand that they step down. We should demand that the Ayatollah terrorist Islamic regime should just be like, yo, you know what? Let's do elections, guys, and leave. Bro, what is this? This is why international law is a joke. By the way, this is why international law is a complete joke. Because we can't invade the sovereignty of another nation. We can't do things. It's a sovereign nation. Why should we get involved? What am I saying? So this dude is literally, we will send a firmly worded letter to the Ayatollah. A strong worded letter to the Islamic terrorists telling them, Ayatollah, maybe stop doing terrorism. And they'll be like, yo, we never thought of that. U.S. military intervention is not the answer. It failed in the past and will fail again. The United States must stand with the Iranian people, not over them. So the Iranians are all begging for the United States to get involved, but Bernie Sanders knows better. Bernie Sanders knows better. Bernie Sanders says we will stand with them by sending strongly worded letters to the Ayatollah. People like this guy. Let me just remind you that people like this guy. All right, he's a civil rights icon. So this is Kyle Skalinsky. He's another retard, leftist on Twitter. Authoritarian regime brutality USA should have complied with the government. Authoritarian regime brutality in Iran. Bomb them. America stands for freedom. This is classic leftist retard world. Literally classic leftist retard world. Let's make this very clear, okay? There is no authoritarian regime brutality in the United States. There was self-defense in one instance. The authoritarian regime brutality in Iran was a complete and utter conquering of an entire peoples for 47 years, getting them involved in countless wars and battles, massacring tens of thousands of them. This is leftist nonsense at its finest. They don't even live in reality. It's unbelievable that people fall for this. So this is Hasan's response to the Bernie Sanders tweet, because this is incredible. Any kind of left position on Iran should start with a demand that the American government end sanctions. We should give Iran more things, actually. We should fund the Ayatollah. That'll get them to stop killing their own people. In exchange for demands of democracy or anything else for that matter, I cannot believe we're past this point now. Obama got the JCPOA done with sanctions relief. So, what the actual retarded fuck is happening here? Hasan says, I know how to stop the Iranian government from massacring their own people. By giving them money. Why don't we just give them money? Oh my God. This dude's screaming about having healthcare and shit in America, but never mind. We should give money to terrorists. It's unbelievable that this guy's alive. I don't know how he survives in existence. He's he's an actual shill for terrorists. If there's any confusion about why this Orientalist moron keeps trying to make this about ending sanctions, which would 1000% benefit the regime more than any protester, it's because he doesn't really want the protesters to win. Exactly. He directly supports the radical Islamic terrorist regime. It's so obvious that this keeps happening. Obama's retarded. I know Obama's retarded. I know. But this is incredible. This is unbelievable. He's like, yo, what if we just gave the terrorists money? Then they'll be nice and stuff. Then they'll be gay and nice. Nice and gay. So Cenk Uygur, this is Hasan's uncle, also a horse fucker. So this is one thing that he had to say. I don't know if he's ever fucked horses. He's only fantasized about it. So to be clear, I don't want to get this, I don't want to get sued for defamation here. All I know is that he fantasized about having sex with horses. I don't know if he actually ever went and did it. So Cenk Uygur makes this tweet. Two things can be true at the same time. Iranian regime are bad guys, and there is propaganda for regime change. There are many bad guys, like the leader of North Korea, and others who kill thousands of civilians, like Israel. Every time. Every single time. This dude cannot talk without talking about Israel. Israel killed civilians as casualties in a war that was started by the other guy that hid behind human shields. You cannot possibly compare this to the Iranian regime massacring tens of thousands of people. The difference is there's no propaganda to topple them. There's no propaganda against North Korea? Oh my God. He's actually crazy. Our guiding principle should be simple. Is it good for America? Another regime change war in the Middle East is terrible for America. No one wants a regime change war in the Middle East. People just want Trump to bomb some actual highly important areas. All right, take out their weapons factories, take out their military bases, take out their leaders. If that would happen, the regime would crumble. That's what the Iranian people want. They don't want boots on the ground. Oh my God, dude. Holy shit. He's just literally, these people are all retarded. We will not be greeted as liberators. This is the same bullshit we heard as the Iraq War. It's literally not at all the same as the Iraq War. That's one. And two, they're begging begging us to show up. I wish the protesters well. This is unbelievable. I hope they bring freedom to Iran, but us bombing Iran will not help them. Oh my God, he's retarded. So, a lot of people don't understand what's going on here. I'll explain it to you. It's because he is a radical Islamist and therefore pro-Islam everywhere. So he's pro the radical terrorist regime. But he's not allowed to say that because saying you're pro-radical terrorist regime is leftist suicide. All right? So therefore, that's why I showed you those clips earlier of people begging us to help. So this is the reason why this is happening. All right? But because he does not want us to help them, because he knows they will fail and tens of thousands will die and the Iranian regime will remain in power and continue to fund terrorism against the United States and Israel. So it will be counterproductive and get us into another mess. We should not fight this war for the people of Israel or Iran. This is not for the people of Israel. What are you talking about? We should look for our own people instead of starting wars on behalf of other people. This guy's actually retarded. It's incredible. It's funny that you go crazy about the Palestinian people. You don't think the Iranian people deserve to be free. Do you have any trouble with reading? I told you I'm rooting for them. I'm literally telling you I'm rooting for them while I'm telling you to not do anything and let them all die. I am literally telling you that I'm on their side as they all die because they can't fight back. What do you mean? What do you mean? I am rooting for the children on Epstein's Island. Now, I'm not saying we should do anything to save them, but I am rooting for them. I want to make this clear, all right? I am rooting for Aisha, Mohammed's 6-year-old wife. I was rooting for her the entire time. Not to condemn Mohammed or anything, but I was rooting for her the whole time. This is absolutely unbelievable that we're literally living in reality with these clowns. That this guy's supposed to be a political commentator. It's unreal, and every single tweet just gets worse and worse. All of them. Breaking. Iran International reports that regime forces are storming hospitals, shooting the wounded at point-blank range to kill them. This is unbelievable that this is happening. It's unbelievable that it's happening to overwhelming silence from the retards. Now, Cenk Uygur went on Piers Morgan, all right, to debate about how actually we should not help the Iranian people, which is one of the most shocking things in the history of time to anyone that's not me, because I told you that his alliance with Islam is a lot more powerful than his alliance to the American left. He doesn't give a shit about that. He's just using it as his gigantic propaganda campaign against the West. Just like Hasan. They're actually all like this. Everyone talks about how, Jews have dual loyalty between Israel and America and stuff. Bro, that's nothing compared to the dual loyalty between the leftist Muslims. Holy shit. So anyway, get a load of this.
This is the beginning of the end of the regime, and it could happen in weeks. Is that your sense, that this, despite a number of repressed attempts at overthrowing this regime that have failed, that this time we might be seeing the hand of history?
All right. Good question, I guess.
Yeah, so first of all, Happy New Year back to you and to everybody on the panel. So, Piers, in this case, the most important thing to recognize is that there are two separate issues going on. Okay. One is the Iranian people's battle with the regime. And there we support the Iranian people 100%. I would love for Iran to be a democracy, control its own country,
I would love it if it just
and be a beacon for freedom in the Middle East. That would be amazing. I would hope that everybody would want that. But
I love how obvious it is that he's a lying shit. He just knows he can't sell, actually, I want radical Islamic universal takeover. He's not going to be able to push that narrative at all. He's not going to be able to push that. So he decides he's going to be like, yo, actually, I root for the protesters. The unarmed people getting massacred in the street. I'm rooting for them.
There's a second issue also going on at the same time, which is that Israel wants regime change in Iran. They've wanted it for 20 years.
Why would Israel want regime change in a country that's been bombing them personally and through terrorist proxies for 20 years? I don't know, actually.
They've agitated it for this entire time, including through the representatives of Israel like Mike Huckabee. He's not our ambassador, he's the Israeli ambassador.
We have people in our country that are loyal to Israel, they're not loyal to us. Anyway, I'm telling you why I'm supporting the radical Islamic regime of Iran. This guy's incredible. He's like, the American ambassador to Israel is a foreign operative. Anyway, this is why I support terrorism.
And we know that now because he had a secret meeting with Jonathan Pollard, who's a traitor to America. So he meets with traitors secretly, by the way, behind Trump's back, behind the American people's back. Everything he just said to you was propaganda for Israel. They wanted this.
Yeah, anyway, so I'm not showing you the whole thing because this is just boomers talking for a while, and I already covered the situation. He got the ambassador on to basically talk about how the Iranian regime is terrible, and now Cenk is saying the only reason why he says that the regime that's massacring tens of thousands of people is bad is because he's actually secretly pro-Israel. It's actually secretly because he's pro-Israel, which is why he wants terrorists to stop killing civilians in Iran, which is like genius. Cenk Uygur take.
regime change forever. And now here's how you could tell that
Well, that
I'm
doesn't
right.
mean it's wrong.
They will not.
He's like, wait a second, hold up. So you're telling me that because he's pro-Israel and also anti-terrorism, he's only anti-terrorism because he's pro-Israel?
It doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it might well suit. It might well
that's
suit.
right.
Well, hang on. It might well suit Israel's interests, but that doesn't mean it doesn't also suit America's interests, or indeed the rest of the world's interests.
Right. So, Piers, then we get to the issue of, yes, but what is America doing and what should America do? So if you want to accomplish the thing that we all want, which is Iran to be free, the worst possible...
Of course, we all want it. I'm just like all of you guys. I'm also fighting for the oppressed people. Wink, 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 wink.
thing you could do is bomb them. Because if you bomb...
The worst thing we could do for the people that are getting massacred in the streets is to take out the military that's massacring them in the streets.
Bomb them, like all countries, they will rally around...
What if we killed the dictator, guys? Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. What would happen after that?
The flag. If you think there is no one who supports the regime in Iran, you're also wrong about that. I think they're a minority, but they're the minority with...
Look at her eyes widen. She is Iranian, by the way, and I'm going to show you her tear him to shreds in a second.
The guns, etc. And so at this point, the idea that, oh, don't worry, we'll just bomb the Iranians, we'll kill a whole bunch of their civilians, and then...
What are you talking about? It's literally about bombing military infrastructure and terrorist bases and weapons factories and missile launchers and the regime leaders.
Will be greeted as liberators. You know,
Look at her biting her tongue. She has to listen to this jihadist literally talk about how, why should we ever try to help the Iranians? It would actually be bad for the Iranians if we did anything better.
It could be talked about 2 kicks of the mule, but except he got the wrong mule. So we got kicked in Iraq in the same exact way.
This is like
Mike Huckabee coming out there and going, oh, this is going to be easy. We're going to liberate the Iraqis, and the Iraqis are going to love us for it, etc. I don't need to get kicked by that mule twice. I guarantee you this will end in disaster if Israel forces us to get involved.
If Israel forces us. Holy shit, bro. He's actually crazy. He's actually crazy. Israel might force us to stop them from killing 20,000 people a day. Shout out to Israel, I guess. The moral barometer, I guess. Why would Israel do this? Like, it's crazy that we're doing this, man.
If you care about the Iranian people...
I can't believe the Jews are saving the Iranian people. Disgusting.
We should not bomb them. It will be greatly...
Like, this guy actually has Israel derangement syndrome, like big time.
Counterproductive. And I guarantee you that both Israel and America does not want democracy. In Iran, what they want instead is a puppet leader. So they'll bring in the former Shah, a king, a dictator who will...
They're literally trying... The former Shah literally said he wants to institute a democracy.
Do everything that Israel wants, and then the Iranian people will revolt against him, and then we'll go through this cycle again and again and again. This is literally how we got to the Ayatollah, by us imposing a Shah upon them. So that is a disastrous idea.
Oh boy.
Do not...
It fell to the Ayatollah because it was conquered by radical Islam. The actual bad guy in a lot of stories, coincidentally. Now, I'm not here to say that radical Islam is a problem. It's probably a coincidence that radical Islam does not get along with India and Pakistan, and that radical Islam doesn't get along with the Jews in Israel, and that radical Islam doesn't get along with the Americans and the English and the French. It's probably just a coincidence.
Not going to this war. Anti-war means anti-war. War is not peace. George Orwell was a genius.
Okay, Goldie Ghamari, you were pulling a number of faces there, none of which I would describe as particularly indicating an agreement with what Cenk was saying. So what would you like to say?
I mean, first of all, Cenk is not Iranian, so he has no idea what's going on in occupied Iran. Pretty sure Cenk doesn't speak Persian either, so he probably has no idea what the tens of millions... no, actually, it's Persian. Persian is the English word for Farsi. So don't correct me when I'm speaking and don't interrupt me. I let you speak your garbage jihadi Islamist propaganda.
You should know your native language,
You do not get to talk over me. You do not get to talk over me or interrupt me when I'm speaking.
He really is such a dick. It's unbelievable.
On behalf of 90 million Iranians who are out in the streets right now fighting for their lives.
You're not speaking on behalf of Iranians.
Yes, I am. You speak about how, the bombings
when
or whatever.
When did they elect you?
Why are you speaking over me? Why are you speaking over me?
Like, this is actual leftist jihadi filth. It's unbelievable.
Are you threatened by what I'm about to say? Is that why you want to interrupt me? Yeah. I suggest you keep your mouth shut.
No, because you're pretending to represent people that never elected you.
Well, let her speak.
Let her speak, you fat fuck. Oh, my God.
All respect, she'll let you speak. Let her respond.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, after generations of inbreeding, we ended up with Cenk. So, I mean, could we really blame him?
Speak your garbage propaganda, so now it's my turn to speak the truth. So do not interrupt me again. So like I was saying, Pierce, Iranians right now are literally risking their lives out there, and they are saying this is the final battle. Pahlavi will return. Pahlavi is, of course, the current Shah of Iran in exile. And what people don't know is that back in 1979, it's not actually a revolution. It was an Islamic coup d'etat. It was orchestrated by Jimmy Carter, it was orchestrated by the Islamists and the communists, and it was funded and supported by Jimmy Carter, the UK, and France. So what is happening right now? This is Iranians trying to rectify...
You mean when the Islamic people took over, they did it through force? We know that Islam is the religion of peace. What are you talking about?
Right? And they are rectifying 47-year mistake that was made. And what Iranians are saying is that we are going out and we are not going to stop fighting until we not only overthrow the Islamic dictatorship, but we return our king, because there is only one person that we Iranians trust to transition us from a dictatorship to a democracy. And that is His Royal Highness. And one final point, Iran was not an authoritarian dictatorship prior to 1979. We were a constitutional monarchy, just like England. That is what we are fighting for. So anyone who says that Iran was an authoritarian dictatorship, they know nothing about the country, because we used to be a constitutional monarchy.
Actual chills, man. Horrible. Horrible that we're letting these people literally do their thing. Now, there are more retards that we need to talk about, obviously, because we can't forget anyone. All right? Now, Cenk is horrible. He really is. So, introducing the next retard, the next leftist, that's right, I know what I called her, is Candace Owens. This is what she had to say about Iran.
So many people, oh my gosh, you won't believe what these radicals are doing.
Massacring 20,000 people, let's just understand.
And of course, it just seems to be that whenever Bibi Netanyahu's around the corner, like, hey, I want that piece of land.
Israel is not trying to steal the land of Iran. Okay, that is not happening. Israel has a population of 9 million. All right, they're not trying. But what are they going to do with this land? Like, what are you even talking about? Oh my God, she's actually dumb. It's crazy.
Suddenly our media starts telling us, you wouldn't believe how free these people are trying to get.
They'll be more free than now, right? You know, because 20,000 people are just murdered in a day.
Iran. These people are really, we need to free the Iranians. Oh, they've been living in oppression.
Yes. Well, yeah, they literally have been living in oppression. What are we doing here?
Bibi is over here like, ooh,
rubbing his hands together like a good Jew.
Land. Oh, no, really? It's about spreading democracy.
No, it's not even about that. It's about a million things that we already covered in this video.
Code word, that's military code word for dropping bombs and stealing a bunch of stuff that is so many.
Yeah, anyway, like, it's actually crazy that we're doing this, man. It really is unbelievable that she's this retarded. Now, in case you're unaware, she recently had another dream. I don't know if you heard, but she had another dream. She actually finally figured out who killed Charlie Kirk.
Anyways, the setting of this particular dream, however,
this is a new dream, all right?
Had one dramatic difference. We were not there for the opening of the embassy. And this difference, by the way, I don't really understand yet. I'm just sharing it with you. Instead, we were there in this dream setting for Bibi Netanyahu's wife's funeral.
Whoa. She was at Bibi Netanyahu's wife's funeral in a dream with Charlie Kirk? Whoa.
Again, that makes entirely no sense. I've never met his wife. I've never spoken about his wife. I know nothing about his wife. So that's just the context of it. I don't make the rules of Dream World. And obviously, as we were sitting there, it didn't strike me as weird, because when you're in your dream state, everything that happens for some reason feels like, oh yeah, this is totally normal. Anyway, Charlie said to me, I don't have much time. He followed that up explaining to me that I needed to see what happened on his left.
Oh my.
And he told me explicitly,
oh boy,
they betrayed me.
They betrayed
multiple
him.
People. And I said,
he said it in another dream.
But who? Then came the frustrating part of the dream. Every time I would say who, you know when you're in a dream and you go who, or you try to speak in the dream and then suddenly you're actually speaking in real life and you start to wake yourself up from the dream by accident. That's what kept happening. And whenever I would try to listen to what he was saying, it sounded like he was underwater. So I was frustrated by this.
Whoa.
I can't get to the part where you tell me who betrayed you.
Who betrayed him?
It wasn't until the third week after his death that finally one face came through in history.
Oh my God.
It came through as...
A face came through in the dream, the person that actually betrayed Charlie Kirk.
Clear as day.
Who was it?
Corner of the restaurant. And it was Andrew Colvet's.
It was Andrew Colvet, literally Charlie Kirk's best friend and one of his major employees that's running Turning Point USA.
Now you have to imagine, in the immediate aftermath of this, I was not thinking Turning Point USA. Where we're at today is almost like unimaginable going back
Unimaginable. Anyway, it doesn't stop. She keeps going. She's going to have more dreams. She'll keep us updated on that. It's unbelievable, to be honest. Now, speaking of Netanyahu, did you know that Netanyahu had a dog named Kaya? Do you know anyone else who had a dog named Kaya? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Hasan Piker. He had a clip
Another
yesterday.
shock collar clip?
He had a clip yesterday where he shocked
Hasan,
his dog.
Wait, no way. Hutch believes that he caught Hasan using a shock collar once again.
God, I can't believe the protesters that are protesting against settler fairs that are taking place in a...
Guys, are you shitting me?
There's no way.
Not even a little bit subtle.
No.
It's funny though. It's funny because it's on the different side.
Bro, look, man. Look how crazy that is. One more time. I think it got glitched.
Another shock.
Guys.
Protesting.
All right, so there's the dog.
Collar once again.
God, I can't believe
Here's
the protesters
dog leaves the mat.
that are...
Hasan reaches, but he moved the shock collar. The shock collar used to be on this side on his left. Now it's on his right. He zaps the dog.
Protesting.
Dog jumps back into place. Absolutely insane. He keeps doing this.
Settler fairs that are taking place in a...
Guys, are you shitting me?
There's no way.
Not even a little bit subtle.
No.
It's funny though. It's funny because it's on the different side now.
Oh my God, I can't believe the protesters that are protesting against settler fairs
Muted the mic, zaps the dog, keeps going.
that are taking place in a synagogue are actually the bad ones in the story. Because they said
No way, you're doing it.
I love how he shocks his dog while talking about the people chanting, "We support Hamas" in front of a Jewish synagogue in New York. That's what he's reacting to, by the way, at this given moment. While he is saying that Hamas supporters chanting "We support Hamas" in front of a Jewish synagogue in New York is actually based. And he says that while zapping his dog.
Again, how long was
Trump send Delta Force, free Kaya.
Dog there?
Designate or ethnic boundary. I don't
isolate.
Bro, the dog was there for over an hour.
Oh no! Oh no! Not again!
God, I fucking.
Oh God! It's still there. 3 hours later.
What do you mean by that?
All right, let's go to 4 hours.
No. Where you at, Israel boy?
The dog had to sit in that spot for over 4 hours.
Where you at?
Oh my God. 4 hours. There's no way that it's been 5 hours that the dog is there, right?
Being primed by... Asman already preemptively said he might do less politics because people lie too much.
He skips randomly and he's talking to Stop out Asmongold. It's unbelievable. It's just Zab's dog shits on Asmongold. Zab's dog talks about Asmongold.
When that happens, he'll do the lines a few days after. This is the average Roach fan.
Okay, so she did move. She moved at least once, okay? Somebody in chat saying battery ran out. Oh, God.
Again,
he looks over and then he leans in like this because obviously there's probably something underneath his monitor. And then he leans over, and then as soon as he stops reaching over, the dog instantly steps back and gets back on the platform. I can't believe this. Why would you?
He's still doing it, man.
You do this? Why would you do that? I don't understand why you would do this. You're zapping the dog. Why would you zap the dog?
Shock, 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 shock my dog. I can't stop. So you want to hear the real shocker of all of this? And it's not just Kaya. You want to hear the real shock? The real shock is the final piece of information I'm going to talk about in this video. And I do this for all the brave people of Iran fighting against the regime. And I do this for all the people that are fighting against the leftists that are shitting on your legacy. All right? 2K vault straight to her top, baby. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you absolutely ready for what you're about to see? There was a leaked old DeviantArt profile from Hellboy Hasan, which was Hasan, and he confirmed it was him, and he was liking furry porn all over this account. It was a furry porn account. This is an old, confirmed Hasan Piker furry porn account. And now he's abusing his dog. All right? When I saw this, the first thing I did was text Tectone. And I texted Tectone, and I said, "Tectone, Hasan's a furry." And Tectone responds to me, "Holy shit, he rapes his dog." Allegedly, okay? So I'll just tell you, that was one of the conversations that we had. That was immediately the first thing I did. I saw this, I sent it to Tectone, and Tectone was like, "Holy shit, he rapes his dog." And that's where we're at. So this dog rapist. Okay, that's extreme. This dog abusive piece of shit, furry terrorist supporting swine is currently doing an entire propaganda campaign running defense for the Islamic terrorist regime of Iran, massacring their own civilians at an astronomical rate with more civilian deaths in one day than anywhere in the world since literally Nagasaki and Hiroshima in Japan. Thanks for being here. Hope you enjoy. I had a video. This was a video of all time. I personally think I did a good job. Share it around. People have to know. People have to know that these retards are not on your side. People have to know that it's all performative. People have to know that we're conquered. People have to know that we are fucking conquered, baby. We are. And they're trying their absolute best to control us, and it works on swaths of the retards. So thanks for being here. Subscribe, Scary World, but I'm here to keep you informed and hopefully keep you entertained. And Hasan Piker might be a dog rapist. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.